Aroldis Chapman signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates on a 1-year, $10 million deal. So the Rangers, not saying they lost Aroldis Chapman. I don't even know if they were bidding for him. To be honest, I don't even know if they made an offer. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I got a text from a friend, and I've talked to people about Aroldis Chapman throughout when we were at Buffalo Wild Wings and stuff, right? A lot of Ranger fans did not want Aroldis Chapman back because of the roller coaster that he is.
Sure.
Totally get it. And I would warn people back in July, don't make him a closer. Make him what he's doing, an every other day type of guy who pitches the 7th or the 8th inning. And they're like, you're crazy. Look how unbelievable he is. Put him in the role of being the guy who wins or loses the game at the end. I'm like, you don't want to do that. And Will Smith wasn't doing well anymore, so they had to, right? And Jose Leclerc wasn't back and ready to do what he ended up doing in the playoffs. And so people started falling out of love with Aroldis Chapman. And he was a roller coaster in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, he was.
He would have
2 outs. And who knows after that?
He was kind of the only reliever that I felt like could get out Yordan Alvarez.
I could see that.
And so I'm going to miss Aroldis Chapman on this team. The thing is if you're okay with losing him, which is fine, I understand. It's okay to lose him. He's not the reason you won or the reason you lost. He helped you at times, and at times he put you in tough situations. Right. So
sometimes in the same appearance.
100%, right? The first 3 guys could get on, and then he could strike out the next 2 guys, or he could throw a wild pitch and the game's over and you're walking off the field. You're like, son of a gun, that just happened.
Yeah.
They didn't even hit the ball. They just walked and then got to the bases they needed to get to by stealing them or a wild pitch. But the thing that I am worried about right now is who replaces Aroldis Chapman when you're facing Kyle Tucker's not going to be that bad every game that he was in the playoffs.
Right.
Yordan Alvarez is arguably the best left-handed hitter in the game. So when you're facing the Astros for a playoff spot, or when you're facing, let's just say the New York Yankees in a big game, and Juan Soto comes up in the 7th or 8th inning, and you need a lefty to get these guys out. Brock Burke, that's it. That's your option. I think Andrew Heaney's more of a spot starter, long reliever. Same thing with Cody Bradford. He's not a lefty-on-lefty guy. Bradford, I like him. But he's not a lefty-on-lefty guy. He's kind of more over-the-top, fastball, changeup, mix in a breaking ball. That's not a lefty-on-lefty guy. So I don't know how to replace Aroldis Chapman. I'm not saying they should have gave him $10 million, but what I'm saying is okay, if you're happy Aroldis isn't on the team because of the emotional roller coaster he put you on, now when lefties come up late in the game, I don't know who the Rangers turn to.
Yeah, he's a unique beast to the league. Like, not, if you get him, you're like, oh man, this is exciting that we have him. But and you can look at him and say that he does help in a lot of situations whenever you're trying to do exactly what you're saying right there. But they're not easy to find at all. So you're going to have to make do with something else. Now, Kirby Yates.
He's right-handed.
Right-handed. We don't have a single other left-hander.
Well, you have Brock Burke, Andrew Heaney, and Cody Bradford that I think will. I know.
But you think 2 of those are going to be in the starting mix.
At least one of them will be, right? And so now you're like, okay, so one is a lefty long reliever, middle reliever. The other one in Brock Burke, it seemed like at times Bochy didn't have the most confidence in him. Now that can change year to year, but it felt like last year Bochy didn't want to put Brock Burke in big situations as the season progressed.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's a tough place to lose, especially if you're trying to keep people's confidence high, which Bochy believes in very strongly. And are those guys, Mike, do you feel like they're more like 6-out guys where it might, or 6-hitter guys where it might take them 6 hitters to get the 3 outs that you want, whereas it felt like Chapman, maybe the 3 that you...
Well, it might be 6.
Depending. But it just feels like with Andrew Heaney, I feel like, I'm going to get an inning out of him. And it might be a hit, but, here and there. So that's kind of I don't feel like he's a strikeout. You're probably going to get 3. You could get 3 strikeouts this inning.
2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Here comes up. I'm just naming.
I don't want the ball even in play.
Yordan Alvarez is coming up with Kyle Tucker behind him. You're like, all right, where's our lefty to get us out of that situation? I'm not saying Aroldis was perfect at it. He was not.
Bad contact or strikeout is what you're hoping to get out of in that inning, in those innings.
And honestly, the Pirates, I think they signed him to trade him. I think he's in a Kansas City Royals situation. Now, not as bad as the Royals were last year. Pittsburgh's okay. They're not bad. But I struggle to see Pittsburgh being a playoff contender next year. Maybe I'm wrong. But I would look at what Pittsburgh did is they offered him the most money. Aroldis took it, and I guess you can get back Aroldis Chapman in another trade if you need him in July.
Probably not for too much.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to give up much. He'd at that point be owed about $5 million the rest of the year, and you have to give up another. Look, he went off and did great. But at the time, Cole Reagans looked like, is he a major league pitcher or not? He hasn't proven it, but he has the ability to be. And he went off to Kansas City and had a great 2.5 months. Will you have to give up another Cole Reagans? Like, I don't know who that person is. I'll name a guy. He's higher ranked on your list, but like, would you have to give away this time Owen White to get and it doesn't have to be Aroldis Chapman. It just
to get that
lefty you're missing in your pen, you're probably going to have to give up somebody decent that another team sees that they can get more out of that than you're getting out of that.
Okay, can I add this question to the conversation? Here in a few weeks, pitchers and catchers report.
Right.
And
February 12th through the 15th is when all teams report for pitchers and catchers.
If you have Aroldis Chapman in that spot, then maybe you don't have the opportunity to see what other younger guys might be able to add.
I hear you. I know there's a dude from Frisco. I'm sorry, I don't have it all pulled up in front of me. The Rangers don't really have premium left-handed prospects ready to help you out.
Okay.
But
and I do
gives them an
wonder,
opportunity.
This kind of gives you a chance to see what you got and go, nah, not good enough, or, oh, hold on, we didn't know he worked on this in the offseason and we needed him to. I don't know.
And to this, Kevin, I think you'd say you're okay with letting Aroldis Chapman go. It's not like you hated him, it's just that you felt like $10 million was a
man. When I saw that number, I was like, oh yeah.
And Will Smith got 6.
It's crazy.
So it does go to show you how limited left-handed, good left-handed relief pitching is, right? Because Aroldis Chapman, who a lot of Ranger fans like, oh, I don't have to watch him anymore. Thank God.
It was so much fun.
A team gave him $10 million, and I'm guessing the Pirates, which is a low market, low budget team, they probably had to beat somebody giving him 8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might have not been
9.5. Will
9.5.
Smith too, right? In the Royals?
Yeah, and I think the Royals were just spending quickly to try to get veteran guys to change the culture of the team. And since he's won 3 championships in a row, and great for Will Smith, he got another $6 million to play baseball again. I think they were trying to change culture more than like we're going to we got to make sure we give him 6 because somebody's offering him 5, if that makes sense. Like for $6 million, it's worth it if he can get our attitudes changed into more of a winning type attitude. I think with Aroldis Chapman, you see, if you want what is considered an above average left-handed reliever, it's going to cost you $10 million, and he's old enough that it's only 1 year. If a dude's 31 years old and he's a good left-handed reliever, it will cost you 10 to 15 a year for multiple years. And if they're the best left-handed reliever, we just saw 5 years, $95 million.